Hi, welcome back to Does My Bank Still Love Me? I'm sitting here with Leeron Liftik, and we've been talking about the process of making a decision about what you're going to do when you're in trouble and you're a homeowner. And we've already talked about doing nothing, and we've talked about applying for refinancing. And now I want to ask Leeron about short sales. When does a homeowner decide that a short sale is the right thing to be doing, and what does that process look like?
Sure. Quick point of clarification, it was modification, not refinancing, just for our viewers, they're clear on that. So when does short sale come into play? Well, sometimes it comes into play right away. So when somebody either cannot create a sustainable solution for affording their home, they don't want to, one of those two circumstances evolves, and that can be through a number of problems. Maybe you applied for a modification and you found out that they outright will reject you, there's no modification, or maybe they determine that the best modification available just isn't good enough for you. Now, hopefully, if you've met with a professional, all of those things are answered within the first hour, because you can really predict those outcomes within a reasonable range, a range such that most people can make a choice informed. So whenever you arrive at that point where staying in the property is no longer sustainable, that's when short sale comes into play insofar as a potential option for a solution. And short sale, as you mentioned, is the process in which you sell the property for whatever the market brings, and then in spite of the fact that that would be less than what's owed, you work with the lender, or you hire somebody to work with the lender, so that they're actually coordinating and negotiating with the lender to have the lender agree to release you from the debt in full, even though you're not paying it back in full. And in most circumstances, here in Washington with first liens on primary residences, in every circumstance, there's no reconciliation for the lender. So if you have a primary residence and it's a first lien in the state of Washington, and you owe $280,000 and your lender agrees to take $190,000, that $90,000 difference is just written off. You never have to pay it. It's never pursued. In fact, in this state, there's no ability for the lender to reconcile. So that's what a short sale looks like. It's really a process of, once you determine that you no longer want the property, getting rid of the property, but in a defined way, in a way that offers improved impact on your credit, and so it's not quite as adverse as a foreclosure, and offers the opportunity to have definition on what it is that the lender will or won't agree to. So you kind of know it. That date I closed, it's short sold, I signed on the dotted line, and now I'm done with it as of that day.
So in a short sale, does the homeowner go out and find a real estate agent, or does the bank go out and find a real estate agent? Who is responsible for trying to sell the house?
Great question. Well, the client is, the borrower is. So the owner of the home, excuse me, not the borrower, the seller. The owner of the home, it's on them to produce all of this. And in fact, a lot of people have a lot of questions. I field a lot of questions like, are banks really doing those short sales? Are they really agreeing? Well, when the circumstance is that there's genuine hardship and the client either is going to short sale or they're going to walk away because the first option is no longer there. They've already arrived. Short sale presupposes they already know they don't want the property. What the seller's doing is offering the lender their liquidation strategy, what the lender would do after they got the property in a foreclosure. They're offering them that process at their own expense, which they're not technically paying, but the expense of the time and finding the real estate agent, et cetera. And then they're delivering them that solution on a silver platter. If the lender is to say no to that, essentially the lender's only reconciliation tool at that point in most cases is engaging in the exact same process that the owner of the house just went through to try and give the money. And that's Brady down there, and he's very, very tired, and you may be hearing some snores, and that is an acknowledgement of what these banks are doing.
And on that note, with Brady basically saying, hey, it's time to take me for a walk, we are going to take a brief break right now. We will be back. It will be brief for you. It may not be brief for us. But thank you for watching, and don't go away because we'll be back.